Welcome, everyone, to this AI deep dive. Man, keeping up with all these AI headlines is like, whoa, right.
It really is something. The pace of development is just mind-blowing, but it's not always easy to see the real impact beyond the hype.
You got that right, and that's exactly why we're here to dig into all of it. So, let's just jump right in with, well, OpenAI. They're always making headlines, huh? Like massive investments, even with all the recent stuff, and now a $150 billion valuation. That's got to be like, what, 12 zeros?
It really shows you the confidence investors have in AI, even with some doubts about, actual returns matching the hype.
Yeah.
There's this feeling that OpenAI is onto something huge, although that evolving business model of theirs is definitely worth keeping an eye on. Like, what happens to everyday users if OpenAI goes full-on for profit? That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. But it's not only about the money, is it? OpenAI also dropped this bombshell new O1 model. People are saying it's not just churning out text like GPT, it can actually reason. Is that even possible?
It's definitely a big step forward. Think of it this way. Previous models, they were great at recognizing patterns, right? So they could spit out human-like text because they'd analyzed tons of data. But O1, this is different. It can actually use logic, get relationships, and solve problems in a way we haven't really seen before.
So it's not just mimicking, it's really like thinking.
You could say that, yeah.
Huh?
Sam Altman, the CEO over at OpenAI, he's got these 5 levels of AI development from basic stuff to, super intelligence. He puts O1 at level 2, the reasoners. But here's the kicker. He thinks the jump to level 3, the agents, AI that can actually act on its own, could be way faster than anyone expected.
Okay, now that is both super cool and kind of scary, right? It's like straight out of sci-fi. But before we go too far down that road, let's switch gears to Apple for a sec. They've been pretty quiet on the AI front, haven't they? Well, until now, it seems.
Yeah, they're taking that classic Apple approach. They're quietly slipping AI features into their iOS 18.1 beta. Think Siri with a total makeover, writing help that's seamlessly built in, even emails summarized by AI. Sure, they're a bit late to the party, but they're betting big on user experience being their ace in the hole.
That's so Apple, isn't it? They let everyone else battle it out, then swoop in with their sleek, user-friendly version. But could this actually shake things up in the whole AI world?
It's definitely possible. Just imagine if interacting with AI was as easy as using your iPhone. That's their goal, and if they nail it, man, that could totally change the game.
Interesting. So we've got OpenAI pushing the boundaries of what AI can do, and Apple trying to make it so smooth that we barely even notice it. But what about Google? What are they doing in all of this?
Well, they're tackling something you might not expect. City planning. Imagine using AI to map every single building across an area bigger than North America. That's what they're doing right now, focusing on the global south, where good maps are hard to come by.
Wait, Google's AI is mapping buildings? How does that even work?
Imagine an AI, right, but it's going through satellite pictures like crazy, picking out and labeling every single structure across millions of miles.
Yeah.
That's basically it in a nutshell. But it's more than just pretty pictures. This data has the potential to change everything. Think urban planning, disaster response, even knowing how the environment's doing.
Now that you mention it, yeah, knowing where buildings are is huge for things like getting help to people after natural disasters. And if they can track things like deforestation in remote areas, that could be massive for the planet.
Absolutely. And it shows something really important. AI isn't just about, the next chatbot everyone's going crazy for. It's about solving real-world problems that affect people's lives, on a global scale.
Now, that's something I can get behind. But let's be real here. For all the good AI can do, there's always, the flip side.
Oh, absolutely. And that's a conversation we definitely need to have.
Yeah, for real. Like this whole AI voice cloning thing, seriously creepy. The idea someone could, use my own voice to scam my grandma or empty my bank account, not cool.
It's a real concern, for sure. Actually, studies are showing that a good chunk of people have already run into some kind of AI scam.
No way, really.
Oh, yeah, and it goes way beyond just voice cloning. You've got deepfakes messing with people's reputations, algorithms with built-in biases, and this constant tug-of-war between pushing the limits of tech and keeping everyone's data safe.
It's true. It seems like every time you open the news, there's another story about AI being used in a way that makes you go, should we be doing that?
It really highlights why we need clear rules and regulations for this stuff. Speaking of which, did you hear California just passed a bunch of new laws all about tackling the potential downsides of AI?
Whoa, seriously, how many?
8 new laws. They're not messing around.
8. Wow. Sounds like California's really trying to get ahead of the game here.
Totally.
Yeah.
And they're not the only ones. Governments everywhere are starting to realize the law needs to catch up with all this crazy fast AI development. But it's not just on them, right? I mean, we all have a part to play in making sure AI goes in a good direction.
So, like, staying informed, asking the hard questions, being careful about what we share online, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Thinking for ourselves is more important now than ever. But let's not forget the good stuff either. We've seen today how AI can solve big problems, make things more efficient. It's about finding that balance between, pushing the limits and protecting ourselves. Which kind of brings us back to OpenAI. They're walking that line, right? Pushing AI to the max, but also facing scrutiny for, well, how their business is changing.
Right. It's been a wild ride for them lately, turning down billions in investments because they're already rolling in dough. That's a good problem to have, I guess. But then there's that worry that they're, like, more focused on making money than their original mission, you know?
It's a dilemma a lot of tech companies face, honestly.
Huh.
The big question is, as OpenAI gets more commercial, what happens to people actually using their tech? Could we end up with a world where only the folks with the deepest pockets get access to the most powerful AI?
An AI elite. Man, that doesn't exactly scream equal opportunity.
It raises some big questions about fairness and access in the age of AI, for sure. That's why things like open source AI and making sure everyone understands this stuff are more important than ever. But there's another layer to this whole OpenAI story. They are really cracking down on people trying to break their models.
You mean those folks who are always poking around trying to find ways to, like, trick the AI or make it do something it shouldn't?
Yep, exactly. OpenAI just revamped their rules, and now if you get caught messing with their O1 model on purpose, they can boot you off the platform for good.
Whoa, seriously. Banned. That's kind of intense. It's like they're saying, look, this stuff is powerful. Trust us to handle it.
It shows just how tricky it is to encourage innovation while also keeping a close eye on something as powerful as AI.
Yes.
A real balancing act.
Definitely. Before we wrap up this whole AI news marathon, there's one more thing I wanted to get to, something that probably hits a little closer to home for a lot of us. LinkedIn. Apparently, they've been quietly using our data to train their AI. And let's just say people aren't exactly thrilled.
Yeah, the whole LinkedIn data privacy thing.
Okay.
It seems they slipped a clause into their user agreement that basically says they can use your info to train their AI models. The problem is they kind of buried the lead on that one.
Quietly being the key word there. I don't know about you, but I definitely don't remember signing up for that.
You're not the only one. The lack of transparency has rubbed some people the wrong way. To be fair, though, they are giving users the option to say no to their data being used for AI training.
Hidden away in some settings menu, I bet.
It could be a little easier to find, that's for sure. But the point is, we do have a choice. And these days, with AI getting bigger all the time, making those choices consciously is more important than ever.
Absolutely. No more blindly clicking I agree without reading the fine print. That's my new motto.
Not a bad motto to have these days. Data privacy in the age of AI is a whole other conversation, really.
One for another deep dive, maybe. We've covered a lot of ground today, from billion-dollar companies to AI that can map entire cities, not to mention the very real worries about privacy and how this stuff could be used in the wrong hands.
It's a lot to take in, but it all comes back to one key idea. AI isn't some far-off thing anymore. It's here right now, changing faster than ever, and it's already shaping the world in ways we're only starting to grasp.
It's kind of wild when you really stop and think about it. AI mapping entire cities, writing emails, even trying to sound like us. Like, what's next week's news going to be? Flying cars powered by AI?
Who knows? Things are moving so fast. But seriously, with all the excitement and uncertainty, I think the big takeaway here is just how big AI's impact could be. We're talking about things that could change almost every part of our lives, from the small stuff to the really, really big stuff.
And with that much potential, we got to make sure we're using it wisely, right? I mean, we've seen the good AI solving problems, making things easier, but we've also seen how it could go wrong, scams, data privacy issues, even the risk that all this incredible tech becomes like a VIP club that most people can't get into.
Exactly. And that's why these conversations we're having are so important. The more we understand AI, what it can do, what it can't, the better we'll be at navigating this whole new world.
It's about like not being afraid to ask the hard questions, making sure things are transparent, and really thinking about the kind of future we want to build with AI.
Couldn't have said it better myself. We can't just sit back and let the tech call all the shots, right? It's up to us to steer it in the right direction to make sure it's used for good.
So what can we actually do? Like, as everyday people, it's easy to feel kind of powerless with all this happening so fast.
It all starts with being aware, like we are right now. Stay informed about what's new, Be part of these conversations about what it all means, and don't be shy about asking questions.
And maybe, like, double check before clicking agree on those terms of service.
Definitely. Data privacy is a huge deal in the age of AI. The more we know about how our data is being used, the more power we have to make choices that feel right for us.
This has been, wow, a real eye-opener, this whole journey through the AI world. Billion-dollar companies, algorithms mapping cities. It's clear this tech is changing everything.
And we're just getting started. The real question is, what part will we play in how AI develops?
That's something to think about, right? We've talked a lot about what AI can do, but what about us? As AI gets smarter, are we keeping up? Are we ready, not just with the tech, but like, are we ready ethically, emotionally for what's coming? Something to ponder as you go about your day.
Well said. And that's what's so great about these deep dives. They bring up more questions than answers, and that's okay. It gives us plenty to think about long after we're done talking.
And on that note, it's time for us to sign off. Thanks for joining us for this whirlwind tour of the amazing world of AI. Until next time, stay curious, everyone.